Hey there, CJ Math students, and welcome to Homework 2.16, Mental Math Stock Market. This is an extension homework because it's kind of playing off a whole bunch of skills that we've already learned to a real-world situation, which is the stock market. So question one should look familiar. It's just like what we've been doing in class. So how much money has this student gained or lost this week? So if we look at his overall market value, in fact, let's label that market value. This is all of his cash and stocks, how much it's worth together. We can see that if I started with $50,000 and I now have $50,321.43, I can do some easy mental math and just say, okay, let's ignore that $50,000. Oh, that's how much money he's made. He's made $321.43. How do I know how much money the student has gained or lost? Well, I know his amount of money is greater than $50,000, so I know he's gained money because all I have to do is check off the chunk that's attached on to $50,000. What is the student's best performing stock? So here's where I'm going to have to do some mental math work. So we can use approximations for this and just say, all right, Disney, how much did it gain? Well, approximately here, if we have 36 and 8 cents, we could say about plus 30 cents. We could say plus 0.28 if we want to be exact. But we could say about plus 30 cents, right? Facebook, how much did it gain? So from here, 72 to 76, that's $4. But look, this 72 is about, really, if I rounded it to 173, and this 176 I could round down to 176, so or stay the same at 176. So this is really about 173, right? If I round it up, and this is 176, so I could say about he gained $3, right? General Motors, how much did it lose? Here I could be pretty precise because 45 and 45 obviously cancel out, so I'm 23 and 2. 23 minus 2, we lost 21 cents per share there. Google, again, that could be about, so this 997.55, we could round up to 998, and then to get to 1,011, well, I go up 2, and that gets me to 1,000, and then I go up 11 more, and I could say, okay, I gained $13. And lastly, Microsoft at 76.15 then to 77.59. So we could say this is about 76 and this is about 70, we'll call it 8 because the 5 rounds up to 8. So it gained about $2, right? All right, great. So what's our best performing stock? We can easily look at this, and obviously it's Google, right? It goes up plus $13. So now let's look at GM and figure out how much they lost per share. So just per share is just going to be this 45.23 minus 45.02. And we actually already figured this out exactly up above, and we figured out that's 21 cents. And since we lost it, right, we put a negative sign, so negative 21. And now, how much did they lose altogether given that they have 500 shares? So let's use a benchmark of 100. So say 0.21 times 100. And we'll say, all right, 2 zeros means I move the decimal place 2 times to the right. So that is equal to 100 shares. It gives me negative $21. But then 500 shares, this is where the 5 comes into play. So I multiply it times 5. All right, so altogether I lost $105 on my General Motors stock. So what recommendations would you give to this? So maybe you say, well, since he's losing 21 cents a share, maybe I cut back on my shares but by a whole bunch, and that way it won't hurt me as much. Or maybe I sell all of it and reinvest in something that's doing me very well, which is like Google, because I mean I've got $22,000 to play with if I sell it all right now. You could even say, hey, be patient. You know, I read someplace that GM is coming out with a new car and it's going to be popular. Whatever you want, so long as you put a because statement, right? You give me some reason behind your answer. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to have you guys do the backside. Take a look at the Google stock. So exactly how much money did they lose per share? So again, I'm going to do that subtraction. 1,011 minus 997.55. So it's super important that you line up your decimals here. I can borrow first from this 1, make that a 0, make that a 10, then make that a 9, and make this a 10. So now I can actually do some subtraction. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. Decimal down. I can't do 0 minus 7, so again I have to borrow a second time from this one, make that a 0, and make that a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. I can't do 0 minus 9, and I can't borrow from a 0, so I borrow from this 0, there's this 1, and make that a 0. This is a 10, borrow from it, it becomes a 9, and then that becomes a 10. So 10 minus 9 is 1, and then 9 minus 9 is 0. So I'm gaining $13.45. I know I've gained because my average price and my current price, it's gone up. So $13.45. And then so $13.45 altogether with 10 shares, $13.45 times 10. I only have 1 0, so that means I only swoop one time. So $13.45 altogether is $134 and not 5 cents, but 0.5 would be 50 cents, right? So that's how much I gained. I don't have to do anything else because I just had 10 shares. I used a benchmark of 10. I just swoop the decimal one time to the right and I'm done. So what would you recommend for this Google stock? Again, it might be a good idea to invest more money in it. It might be a good idea to save it. You could even say, hey, I want to sell it right now and use the $134 to invest in something else. Whatever it is, just make sure you give me a because statement. So you are responsible for completing these two problems on the back. It's basically like the front, but with different stocks. I'm asking you to look at Wynn and Apple from that portfolio. If you have questions, please give me a call.